What's up YouTube, DMLX here. Let's rewind to 2006. Twitter was born, High School Musical was topping the charts, Shakira's hips weren't lying, the PS3 cost
$599 US.
Jack Sparrow was chasing a dead man's chest, bubble skirts were somehow a thing, Tickle Me MLs were flying off shelves, and most importantly, OG aging Kingdom Hearts fans got absolute cinema in the form of The Gathering. For those uninitiated, The Gathering was the secret ending of Kingdom Hearts 2, where we saw 3 armored Keyblade warriors assembling at the graveyard, setting the stage for an epic clash. Unlocking this secret ending wasn't easy either. You had to 100% Jiminy's Journal on standard mode, or beat the game on proud mode while clearing all the gates. Then came Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, which gave us the extended Birth by Sleep cut, showing the unnamed Terra Aqua and Ventus versus Master Xehanort and his masked apprentice Vanitas. For years, fans pored over this scene, spinning wild theories. Was Terra an older Sora? Was Xehanort an alternate version of Ansem? Was Ventus secretly Roxas? People thought Square was teasing the next big AAA console installment, the original Kingdom Hearts 3 if you will. Instead, we got the truth. These secret endings led to Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, released in 2010 on the PSP. Now don't get me wrong, Birth by Sleep is arguably one of the best PSP games ever made, which honestly isn't saying much compared to its competition, but it's still worth noting. It gave us fan favorites such as Terra Aqua and Ven, it pushed the handheld to its limits, and it set up a massive amount of story leading into Kingdom Hearts 3. But more than a decade later, I still find myself asking, was it a mistake for Square Enix to develop Birth by Sleep for PSP instead of the PS3? But before we move ahead, be sure to hit that like button and share with your Kingdom Hearts familia, I really appreciate it. And with that being said, let's get into it. Starting with the case in favor of Birth by Sleep on the PSP. At the time, it made a lot of sense. Square Enix wasn't treating this as a mainline installment, so it was the perfect chance to get experimental on Sony's hot new handheld. In Japan, the PSP was still thriving and Birth by Sleep sold nearly 500,000 copies in just 2 days, proving the demand was there. And having Terra, Aqua and Ven's story on the go fit the handheld lifestyle perfectly. Then there's the command deck system. Like Chain of Memories, it was a bold experiment that completely shook up Kingdom Hearts' combat. Simple customization, melding abilities, pulling off flashy combos. It gave the series a fresh layer of creativity we might have never seen if the game had stuck to a traditional PS2 style combat system. And for its time, Birth by Sleep looked incredible for a handheld title. From the cutscenes to the in-game battles, even the Mirage Arena multiplayer pushed the PSP to its absolute limits. For some players, this was the reason to buy the portable system in the first place. However, behind the scenes, Square was also struggling to develop quality games for the PS3, with their biggest games that generation only ended up being the Final Fantasy XIII trilogy and Nier. Meanwhile, Nomura was busy wrestling with Final Fantasy Vs 13, which was stuck in development hell for a decade before transforming into Final Fantasy 15. So, in retrospect, the PSP was Square Enix's best option that gave the publisher a cheaper, faster way to deliver something fresh, while keeping the Kingdom Hearts series alive during the long gap before Kingdom Hearts 3. Honestly, in a lot of ways, the PSP saved Kingdom Hearts from laying dormant in the realm of darkness, because if Birth by Sleep had been developed for PS3, it probably wouldn't have been released until the tail end of the console's life cycle, and I must admit that Birth by Sleep PSP 3000 bundle was well worth spending every dollar I had back in 2010. Now, on the other side of the heart-shaped moon, the frustrating side, going back to The Gathering / Birth by Sleep secret endings, they look like next-gen cinema. Something you expect to be unveiled on an E3 stage, RIP, or a surprise world premiere presented by Jeff Keighley at the Game Awards. Instead, what followed felt diminishing and ultimately meant Kingdom Hearts skipped the PS3 generation entirely, unless you count the HD collections. Because of this, Birth by Sleep's worlds were smaller and boxed in, offering limited exploration, environmental activity, and character interaction. Side characters mostly popped up in cutscenes, and details like the iconic Keyblade armor capes were scrapped to keep performance stable on PSP hardware. They were shown in concept art and early trailers as a direct tie to The Gathering, but tech constraints forced Square to drop them. Fast forward to Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, and suddenly those missing capes are flapping in the wind with grace, and hopefully we'll get to see the armored Wayfinder trio back in action when Kingdom Hearts 4 releases, eventually. Then there's the infamous Jungle Book world, reportedly 60 to 70% complete before being cut due to time, budget, and overlap concerns. It still lingers in the Japanese code accessible through hacks. Honestly, I wish this world hadn't been cut, as I would have loved to see what minigames Square was cooking up, if Baloo was going to be a D-Link, or if Shere Khan and Ka got to be boss fights. And as time passes, it feels like those bare necessities are not likely to fall upon the series anytime soon. And here's the big picture: by keeping Birth by Sleep handheld only, Square basically skipped the PlayStation 3 generation. Many Kingdom Hearts fans were on Sony's flagship console, and were left naively waiting over a decade for the next true installment. On top of that, Kingdom Hearts' biggest issue, fragmentation, only deepened. If you didn't own every handheld, from the Game Boy to the DS, PSP, and 3DS, you were lost in the story. Releasing Birth by Sleep on the PSP didn't help garner much growth for the series. While beloved in Japan and respected in hindsight, the PSP struggled against the Nintendo DS in the West and had an inconsistent library. Meanwhile, the PS3, despite its rocky start and form and grille design, rebounded into a major 7th gen success. In short, way more Kingdom Hearts fans were on PS3 than PSP, and most missed Birth by Sleep until the AC collections arrived. So yeah, Birth by Sleep was amazing for what it was, but it will always carry that what if aura. What if the Kingdom Hearts prequel had the full backing of PlayStation 3 hardware, like the visuals of the Gathering Secret ending promised? At the end of the day, Birth by Sleep is both a triumph and a compromised milestone within the Dark Seeker saga. On PSP, it kept Kingdom Hearts alive, introduced us to new beloved and revered characters, and proved Square could innovate without relying on the most powerful hardware. But it also meant an entire console generation never got the true next step fans were waiting for. It wasn't until Kingdom Hearts 0.2 A Fragmentary Passage in 2017 that we finally saw the series' real next-gen potential. So what do you think? Should Birth by Sleep have been Square's big PS3 tour de force? Or was the PSP exactly where the Wayfinder Trio's journey belonged? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this Kingdom Hearts throwback, hit the like button and subscribe for more. I'm DMLX, and I'll see you in the future.